All right, everybody. Today, I got a very special guest with me, one of my VBA students. You can already see him here, Kevin Wood. He's been with us in the VBA for 5 months now, a little bit over 5 months. Having hit amazing results, went from making about $3,000 to $5,000 a month with like 40 hours of work every single week, up to 7,000 to 11,000 per month, but with 25 hours of work every week. And I'm super excited to share with you his story, let him share his story, of course, his experiences, so that you can learn from somebody who has made it as a filmmaker and is actually now in a position where he's financially and time-wise more free than before. So welcome, Kevin. Introduce yourself real quick. Who are you, where are you from, and how long have you been making videos?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Nick. I really appreciate it. My name's Kevin Wood. I'm a videographer based in Los Angeles, California, and sometimes New York, depends. And I've been doing video work as a freelancer probably for about 5 years now.
Nice. That's good. And when you say 5 years, were you always making like 3 to 5K a month, or?
I wish COVID was a tricky spot there in between the first year and a half. So yeah, it was very sporadic. The first 2 years, definitely was making between like 3 to 5K per month as a consistency kind of thing. And then COVID hit, and that gave me a whirlwind of a difference. So coming out of COVID, I really needed to make a change. And that was one of the main reasons why I was so drawn to your guys' program. And I'm seeing some amazing results. So the future's looking bright. It's awesome.
Nice. That's good. That's good. So, I mean, in the beginning, I bet for you too, it was a scary investment. It's like you invest money into something from someone that you don't know. You have seen it online. Yes, cool. You've probably seen some testimonials, but how was that for you to make such a decision?
You know, to be honest, the beginning was pretty tough. I was in the straits basically. I was in a pretty desperate situation. So I knew I was researching and doing a lot of research on my own on different courses, different people, and like doing all these things to really just try and get myself in a position that would set myself up to be somewhere different. I knew it was possible, but I just didn't have like the knowledge or the resources or where to go for them to really put myself moving in the right direction. So I saw your ads on Instagram and they really stood out to me. You sounded like a really genuine and honest guy. So that kind of like really stuck out to me compared to others I've seen. And then my first consultation call with Tiago, he was really great. He was super personable. I really felt like a connection with him, and it wasn't really like a pushy sales kind of conversation like I've had with other people in other groups. So we really hit it off, and your whole team has been super great. I think one of the things that I loved about it was that time is money and time is also valuable. But Tiago sat with me and answered all of my questions. And I think the call was supposed to be originally like 30 minutes, and we went to about 50 minutes. And it was just, he put in a lot of extra effort to really like close the deal and really help me out with, just getting everything started. So that was really, really my first experience.
Nice. That's good to hear. And when you say you compared multiple courses against each other, multiple mentors, what exactly stood out the most about the VBA? Like, why did you decide to go with VBA over all these other things out there?
Yeah, I mean, I won't name names, but I looked between maybe about 4 to 5 different courses. Some of them were based in America. One was in Canada, and then I think you guys were the only one based in Europe. But it was just, it came off as like a salesy, like, do you want to make 20 grand in your sleep, the first month? And not to say that's not possible, but the way it was presented, it was very much kind of like a pipe dream sort of thing. And when I talked to them even more and I went through the consultation calls with them, the coursework and like what was offered was very much a watered down version of what you guys were offering. So it kind of seemed just like a PowerPoint presentation. They didn't have like live consultation calls. They didn't have one-on-one calls. They didn't have like group chats. It was like, here's the PowerPoint, here's some videos, and this is how I did it. So this is how you're going to do it. And it may or may not work for you. And that, it kind of just rubbed me the wrong way. So
yeah, that's actually the reason why we're doing this, ultimately, because there are so many courses out there, and the word course, I can't stand it. Literally, like whenever somebody says, yeah, I love the VBA course, I'm like, dude, it's not a course. This is a consulting program. Like, we put so much effort into the success of the students. Like, besides having a video training, of course, having a course is the fundamental thing to gain your knowledge. But ultimately, you've seen it yourself. Like, besides the video training, what is it that gives you like or gave you the most confidence and the most amount of knowledge in order to grow your revenue to 11K per month?
Yeah, honestly, it was probably the one-on-one consultation group chats that you guys set up, which were awesome. And for anyone interested in and looking into this, I still am someone, the first 4 months really of the 6 months that I took the course, I was absent way more than I needed to be. And every morning I was like getting calls from Diego, or texts from Diego and Joshua, and like, Kevin, hop on. Kevin, what's going on? Where are your questions? What's going on with this? What are you doing here? Like, send us this thing you need to update, blah, 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 blah. And just the I guess the accountability aspect of it, of having someone always reminding you and always being on top of you was really helpful. Especially with like my schedule was super crazy, but that really was something that I was drawn to.
Got it. Yeah, that's good. That's good to hear. That's literally what it is for. So you wouldn't say it was too much that we kicked your ass a little bit?
No, I needed it. I definitely needed it.
Fair enough.
So,
fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said in the beginning that you were making about 3 to 5K a month with 40 hours of work, and now more like 7 to 11K per month, but with 25 hours of work. What are you spending the rest of the time on now?
What you guys practice and preach, sales, marketing, and outreach. Those are my number one priorities. And when I say working 40 hours a week before, it was literally like, in the beginning of everything that you guys teach, it was about being a solopreneur, right? And that was really the position that I was in. It was just me, myself, and I doing everything from getting sales, generating leads, filling out emails, sending contracts, all the way through the video production and editing, and outsourcing other freelancers if I needed it. And now I was able to, with some of the extra cash that I brought in, thanks to your guys' practices, really kind of figure out where my money and my time is being burned the most and how I can save that. So I went from working 40 hours a week to 25 a week, and most of that is sales and marketing. And then the rest, I now have more team members that do, I don't want to say the grunt work, but they do the meat and potatoes kind of work for me to keep everything going.
Makes sense. Now I hear already, when somebody watches this, I hear them already screaming like, oh, but I want to make videos. I don't want to do sales and marketing. How is that for you? Like, now that you're spending more time working on the business instead of like in operations delivering videos?
I always thought that too when I first started the business, like 5 years ago. I was like, I want to create videos. I want to be part of projects. I want to get my voice out there. I like the creativity, the meaning, the messaging behind what it means to be a videographer and a creator. But I think people get scared, and I think I was like this for a long time, and then I realized, this is stupid. Like, it doesn't make sense for me, at least. When you're in a position where money and like meeting deadlines for money and getting paid on time for video projects is not as much of an issue, and that someone is working in the background also just to keep money coming in, you can pick and choose what projects you work on, and you can take projects that you don't want to work on that'll still make you money, and then you can take on projects that you do want to work on and do have meaning and do have a purpose that you really, really want to put your blood, sweat, and tears into, and you can pick that. While in the meantime, you might have other projects that are not as desirable, and one of your team members is doing that. So, and to go into the marketing and sales aspect, I mean, eventually my goal is to also kind of like have someone do that for me and train them once I get my own system in place. So I'm in the in-between period. So I think obviously it's good to go through it and learn everything that you need to learn. So if you're scared of doing sales and marketing, I think you need to suck it up and learn how to do it. And then once you get to a point where you can give it to someone, give it to somebody else, and move on to the next thing that you want to do. I think that's how it should be.
Preach it. So, I mean, you had the goal to get to $10,000 per month, ultimately, like initially. Now that you hit that, what is your next goal? Are you just going to stop here and relax, or?
No, oh my gosh, no. That's, as much as I'd love to, that's not enough for me. And also just, I guess I have bigger aspirations, but for the 10K a month, I mean, the next goal is to really have that be a general, like my minimum every single month. That's my maximum right now. So I'm trying to move in to get that to be my minimum. And then as I grow more and more and more, hire a few more people, whether it's like based on salary or full-time or part-time or whatever. And then as the 10K becomes my minimum every month, and I can have that security in my head where it's like, I know this is what I'm going to be making, increase that bar to 20K, 30K, 40K. And then at that same time, decrease the amount of stress and time and energy that I need to be dedicated, like working all the time, and figure out how I can like expand my time in other places, whether I want to travel or, take breaks later on. That's what I'm ultimately wanting to do.
Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. And one thing I wonder about is, you know, all the videographers, if you think about it, like the top 10% of all US videographers make about $100,000 a year. That's a little over $9,000 a month, which is absolutely nuts because you're now in the top 10% of all US videographers. Now, when you first hit that $10,000 a month or that $11,000 a month, what did you, was there anything you realized about the amount of money that was that a lot to you? Was it a little amount to you? Like, what was your perception?
I think when and my first 10K month was in October of 2022, so last month. So we're only 2 weeks out from that, and it was like a breath of fresh air. I like looked at my closing statements and my financials, and I literally looked at it and I was just like, wow. I had some choice words, but I was like, wow, this feels really, really good. And when I look back on that month and the amount of time that I compared to doing 5 years ago to get less than half that to now, I was like, first of all, I was like kicking myself in the butt. Why didn't I do this sooner? And then my second thought was, wow, if I could do this with just a few tweaks, it was really all about systems for me and like how I spent my time, not how much time I put into something. It was really, I was burning time up doing unnecessary tasks that were very menial. And for me, converting that into something that was more productive, like sales or outreach, and then giving that to somebody else to do the menial work, it really just, it was a mind shift. You talk about mindset shifts in everything. And for me, that was the most important. So I think I felt gratitude. I felt super relaxed and I felt excited because I was like, if I can do it for October, the holidays are coming up, things are getting busy, and then just keep scaling the way I have been, what's the future hold? It's super exciting. So I'm excited.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good to hear. Yeah, and you will grow further because you now have the mindset for that. In the beginning when you were making like 3K a month, you were not ready even for that. There's no way your brain can process it, can process $10,000 a month. But now that you've worked your way there gradually, you're gonna be at 20K, 30K, 50K a month in no time.
Yeah. It's the fight or flight mode. I was in the fight mode and flight mode for most of it, just trying to make money to pay bills. And once you get out of that, your creativity kind of increases. You can relax and you have better understanding of how to just live a better life rather than just, scraping by and trying to get money to like barely stay afloat. So it's been awesome.
100%. Now, look, you're one of the many actually in the VBA program, luckily, who made it. Now, there's still people out there running around thinking, oh, this Nick Metzger guy, he's a scam, VBA, yeah, this can't work, Now, if you're talking to somebody like that, if you're talking to a videographer, and I mean, it's totally understandable. It's like they don't know me, they don't know the program, they haven't seen what you've seen. So if you're talking to somebody who thinks like, should I really do that? Am I going to waste my money? Am I going to be scammed? What would you tell those people?
I had to think about that for a second. No, I think from my own personal experience, I was that person probably about 7 months ago. And the thing that got me to do it was the thing that made me push into this, make the switch and just make me take the jump is that for me, I realized, first of all, the price of everything that you guys offer broken down month over month is somewhat doable for me at least. And when I was looking at all the financials, I was like, you know what, in the worst case scenario, not that Nick is a scam, but if this doesn't work out, right? If it doesn't work out, just being realistic, I don't know this person, if it doesn't work out, for me, it was like, I think $1,050 a month or something like that over 6 months to do the course. And I was like, I don't want to eat this for dinner, but I could eat this money for dinner if I had to, and it wouldn't put me back that bad, but at least I tried and took the jump. And I really believe that, there's no reward if you don't take the risk. So, there's just, I was in that spot where the risk was greater than just staying where I was. And I wanted to make the jump. And if you're a videographer who's in that position, I always encourage people to do their research. And, I think if you do your research and you look at Nick's in your team and everything you guys offer, I think they'll see, like through testimonials and other people they might know now that you guys are growing so large in America, especially, they may know someone who's taking your course like me and get a personal testimony. So they kind of get that reassurance like, hey, I might think it's a scam, but I know this person who knows this person and I think I should really do it. And I think, people like Tiago that you guys have, you know, doing the initial consultation calls. For me, that was the switch. It wasn't just something I saw online that was an ad with your face on it. It was, okay, I'm talking to a real person, you know. And Tiago gave off such great vibes. Like, I was having conversations with him about like skiing and other like personal life stuff. We were just hitting it off. So he
Nice.
didn't, you know, he didn't push me. He didn't make me feel uncomfortable at all. And for me, like, the in-person contact, even though it was over Zoom, was really like something that was made me want to do the switch. So I think that'll really convince people. If they just hit the consultation call and spend 15 minutes, you know, talking to you guys, they'll really see the value and want to make that change.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And by the way, for everyone who's watching that, this strategy call, the consultation call Kevin is talking about, is actually a free call. So it doesn't even cost you money to hop on there. So
yeah, exactly.
Nice. So now, for people who think that you're a paid actor, where can they find you?
Are you paying me? Am I getting a check in the mail? Can I get one?
Probably after, you know. Now, but where,
Okay,
where
cool.
can they find you online if they have further questions?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm totally open to people sending me messages, just to get my personal experience. You can find me online on Instagram. My username is at Kevin E. Wood, literally just spelled out like my name. I'm on there somewhat regularly now that I'm rebranding things to the course, Nick's teachings and figuring this stuff out.
Said course.
I know. It's not a course. It's not a course. Consultation. Sorry, it's in there. It's in there. It's not. It's a consultation. It's much greater. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram, and then also you know, my email's on there and stuff. So feel free to send me messages, ask me questions. I'll give you my personal testimony, and I'm really hopeful that it works for everyone like it has for me. It's been a great ride.
Nice. Hey, thank you very much for taking the time, Kevin. Appreciate you, and wish you further success. Get to those 20, 30, 40, 50K months. I mean, I will be there on your side to get you there. So
yeah, no, you'll hear from me. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. You have to make the jump, guys. Whoever's watching this, everyone out there, make the jump and you'll build a community. The thing I wanted to say before we go is, the one thing I really love is I've made friends through this consultation group, and you know, we still chat every day, and we share ideas, we share our thoughts, and we you know, we call, we text and stuff. And so you'll make lifelong friends, especially with the camaraderie that goes on in the group. I think that's something that, you know, was something I wasn't expecting going in, and it's made all the world of a difference with like referrals and even growing the business or having contacts in other areas, just to have friends, you know, to reach out to. So
nice.
Definitely make the jump. It's worth it.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. See you, man. Bye.